again, and I will go ahead with the actual course which we are planning with this AWS. Okay, so let me go ahead and start about introduction basics of cloud computing. Okay, so before learning Amazon Web Services, but basically you need to know what is cloud computing. Unless until you're not sure what is cloud computing, you might not work out well in AWS. So let's dive and know what is cloud computing. So this is a cloud computing is a technology which has brought a cost-effective structure. So cost-effective structure in the sense, okay, let me take an example industry. Okay, assume that I'm a vendor. I'm a person who want to start up. I want to start a new startup. Okay, I want to start up. I want to go with a small startup where I develop my websites and mobile applications. Okay, that is my primary business. So, in order to have this websites or mobile applications available to the public, I need to have a component called as server. Okay, server is right now there's a lot of history behind server, but right, as of now, you can take server it is like a component where we can place our web application or a mobile application which we have developed. And if you want to give that web application or mobile application access to the public, so you need to have a server. Assume that I have designed a website for something like Swiggy. Okay, actually Swiggy is a mobile app. Assume that I have developed some website like Swiggy. Okay, if I want my Swiggy to, if I want now it is Swiggy, that let's go with Piggy. Okay, just we'll remove S and we'll keep Piggy there. Okay, so I have developed an application called as Piggy. So now, if I want the Swiggy to be used by the public, I need to put on my website on a component called as server. Unless until if I'm not keeping that website on my server, that will not be available for the public usage. So, in order for the public to access a website, in order public to access a mobile application, definitely I need to have a server. That much important a server is. Okay, but if I want to buy the server, the cost of a single server or a mid-range server costs me around 12 lakhs. Okay, which is too much for a person like me who is going for a startup. So I need to invest on 12 lakhs on a server. Assume that how much difficult it would be for me to invest 12 lakhs on a server, on a physical server. It is really huge for a person like me who wants to go for a startup. So though I get a loan from a bank or a beg and borrow from someone, if I'm able to get the 12 lakhs and I bought a server, the concept is maintaining the server also includes some cost because as I'm keeping my server on a as I'm keeping my website on a server, assume that you would want your website to work 24 by 7. Okay, you want your website to work 24 by 7 without any interruptions, right? So in order to do that, you need to make sure that your server is turned on 24 by 7 and 365 days. So when you're turning on the server for 24 by 7 and 365 days, assume the electricity bill which you get for making this server turned on all through the day. So definitely it involves a huge cost when you're trying to turn on your server for that long time, right? So basically, when you're turning on yourself for that much long time, you need to make sure that even you do not face any electricity outages. So in order to overcome that electricity outages, you need to have a UPS setup or a generator setup to make sure that even you have a power outage, we wish to make sure that your server is not running out of power. So electricity bill is one concern, and and maintaining an UPS system is one concern which we have. Apart from this, we have some more things. As we are making this machine to run all the day, lot of heat will be produced around it. So in order to cool that heat and to maintain that, to make sure that server is working fine, we need to equip AC in that room. Okay, so again I need to spend 30,000, 40,000 for an AC. Again I need to pay for electricity bill, which is a bit expensive for me. And okay, I'm okay with that one also. The next comes the other thing. As I'm running the server 24 by 7, 365 days, it may run into some sort of issues, technical errors, or some repair would have come out. So you may encounter some repairs in the future. For that, I can't depend on a local technician, because when see if I have a if I have a repair in my TV, if I call that TV mechanic, I get that service attended at to a second or third day, which is such a pretty long time for us. The same way, if my server went bad, and if I call a local technician, I'm sure he's going to take 2 to 3 days to reach us. Okay, I'm very sure that he'll not be immediately available to service our server. So when my server has went bad, so those days, if the technician is taking 2 to 3 days, my website will be down for 2 to 3 days, and I will lose all the business in these 2 to 3 days, which is which is going to pay me a lot of huge of loss to the company. So you are running a company without a revenue for 3 days. That's cost more. Okay, so that is why, in order to cut down all these concepts, in order to buy a server, to maintain it, all these headaches. So cloud computing is a technology which has come up in the market. They say something like, you don't need to buy a server. You don't need to maintain a server. Okay, we will do it for you. You just pay, we generate a bill at the month end, just pay that bill for us. That's our mission. So they say that you don't need to buy any server, or you don't need to buy any hardware or anything. You don't need to maintain it. We will do it for you. Just will give you a bill, just pay for that. So that is the main motto of cloud computing technology. So basically they say that cloud computing technology is a very well known for its cost efficient structure, because as they say, as they mentioned, that everything they're going to buy behalf of us, everything they're going to maintain behalf of us, everything is going to be done behalf of us. So they're just going to give a bill which we are going to pay. So the bill varies. So if I'm trying to buy a server of 10 to 12 lakhs, and additionally I need to spend some money for its maintenance. I assume that I'm going to spend 5 lakhs for its maintenance. So it's giving me 17 lakhs approximately. So if I just use this cloud computing technology, where they ask me to just they generate a bill, and they just ask me to pay for what I have used. So I would be ending up around 10,000 per month, which is very much. So just compare, which I just compare 70 lakhs per approximately like 1 year, and 10,000 per 1 month. It makes huge difference, right? So if I take 10,000 per month, hardly I'll be spending only 1,20,000 on a server, on my server requirement. I don't need to spend 17 lakhs, which gives ease for companies like me to go ahead and use this cloud computing technology. So to make it so, to make it so regular without any technical explanation, let me take an example of a house. Okay, I'm relocating to a new location. Okay, from Vizag, I'm moving to Chennai. Assume that from Vizag, I'm moving to Chennai. So once I started moving from Vizag to Chennai, I have two options over there. Either I need to buy a house, either either I need to just rent somewhere. I need to rent a house in Chennai. So basically, if I have enough money, okay, if I have good and enough money, I will try to buy that house. Okay, I'll just look at a house, and I'll just try to buy that house. In case if I don't have that much of money, what will I do? I will just try to take that house for rent, and I'll just try to stay over there, right? So the same thing will come over here. Buying a server is something like buying a house. If I have money, I will do it. If I don't have money, so the other alternative is to take a rent. So even cloud computing does the same thing. They just say that whatever you want, we will give it to you. Okay, you want to, don't buy anything, we'll give it to you. Just use how much you want, you can just use it. Just we'll give you the bill at the end of the month. Just pay that bill. That is the basic point they are putting into the market, and becoming the cost efficient solution today. So for being the cost efficient solution, the basic reason is, you know, we don't need to spend much. So startup like us, they don't need to spend much. 10,000 per month, that is okay. And service they provide is awesome. So which makes them to drive towards cloud computing. Okay. So basically, I'm telling you that cloud computing, I told you that they're going to maintain a server. They want to buy a server behalf of us. They're going to maintain that server behalf of us. But do you think the server is going to stay at your premises? No. It is a big no for that. The server will not stay in the premises. Actually, these guys have something called as data centers. Okay, throughout the globe, for every country, they maintain this data centers. Okay, so these data centers are like an establishment where they can implement cloud computing technology. They have the hardware setup, they have all the things ready for whatever is required. They want to establish what the total setup would be ready at a place called as data center. So as I told you that they're going to maintain a server, they're going to buy the server. They're not going to be placed in your premises. I told you that it is going to be placed in the data center. So once they place the data center, the question is here: how would be I able to use this server which is in the data center? So that is generally a big question everybody has, because if I ask for a data server and everything is in somewhere in a place called data center, people generally expect me to go there and get things done. But that's not real truth, because when I have a server, okay, when I have a server given to a cloud vendor, 1 second, I have someone ringing the bell. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm back. So they maintain the total establishment or setup in this place called data centers. So as I told that we don't, they buy everything behalf of us, they maintain everything behalf of us. So they don't have a provision to keep everything in their premises. They have a place called data centers where they keep all the total establishment, and they'll start maintaining and doing all that stuff in that place called as data centers. So the billion-dollar question is here: if everything is there in a place called data centers, what about my data security? And how could I use that server which is somewhere in the data center? Suppose in India we have a so I told that every country do have a data center, right? So in India we have a data center in Mumbai. So question is like, so if my server is somewhere in Mumbai, do I need to go to Mumbai and use this server? No, it's absolutely a no. And the second concern everybody will be having is, how about the security? So let's give a clarification on these two things. So as I told that in India we have a data center at Mumbai. So do you think that we all need to go to Mumbai and work? No, actually, what they will do is they have something. They generally give access to the server using a web portal. So these cloud vendors, like I mean, cloud vendors is like the persons who offer computing technology. So in market we have few very reputed cloud vendors like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Products. Okay, and we have Rackspace. So these are some famous cloud vendors, and we also have Alibaba, DigitalOcean also. But they are not much in practice in India as of now. So basically what they will do is they're going to just from this I told you everything is going to be in the data center, so they're just going to give a web portal. Okay, in this web portal I need to put in my username and password. Okay, I need to put in my username and password. So once I put in my username and password, I will be authenticated, and then I will be able to use my server. So by using this web application, by giving the correct credentials, I'll be able to use my server virtually. Okay, it's not physical, it's virtually, I can use it. So due to this, I have one advantage for a cloud computing, because assume that it is a lockdown, okay, and you are not asked to step out of your house, but you have important files which are kept in your office server, okay, and you are not agreed, you are not accepted to move here and there. You need to stay at home. So if that is the case, so you know the emergencies cannot be met, because you're not asked to move from home and everything is there in your server. So you have nothing to do. But when you're having some solution on cloud says that access from anywhere, from any time. So basically, as you are depending on as you are trying to connect to your server using a web page, the basic requirement you need to have is a high speed internet connection that is sufficient for you to use the cloud services using a web portal. As it is in the website, though I am at home, though I'm at office, though I'm at somewhere else, though I'm in a holiday or a vacation, I'll be able to use it. Only thing I need to have is an internet connection where I can use a website, and where I'll just put on my credentials and then I'll start using the server. So basically, as everything is set in the data centers, so you don't need to go and work for it. Go to the data center and work on that. Go and work over there. Basically, they'll give you a website where you can simply put on your credentials and you can just start using it. Okay, so that is how you can start using your components or servers where from using the data cloud computing environment. Okay, so you don't need to worry about as they are not maintaining everything in your at your premises. So basically, they are going to maintain in a place called data centers. So the second concern which we are trying to have is security. So Amazon do have some security issues. So cloud itself, the cloud concept itself, people say that it is not secure and all this stuff. But to trust, to make gain the trust of the people, there's a chance. Even I really say that, even though I'm a faculty member of teaching you this concept, I still say that I still say that there would be some threat for this data what we are keeping on this cloud computing environment. I'm not really sure that they're going to maintain high end security. But people, but this cloud in the vendors like Amazon or Microsoft Azure, they started maintaining their own security for each and every architecture they have. So architecture generally starts like they have high level firewalls, high typed, high level typed firewalls and high level security guns. They are maintaining a high security equipment in their data center, so that data is not going to get exploited, and they're not making sure that even their employees will not be able to see what exactly that data. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to use for security concern. They are trying to use something like encryption and decryption. Do anybody know what is encryption and decryption here?
Sir, password protected is encryption, sir.
Come again?
Like password protected file or encrypted files in that.
I just asked you what is encryption and decryption, Joseph.
Sir, encryption means converting from one form to some other form, sir. Like other code.
Yeah, it is like I'll put it like this: converting the readable format into unreadable format is called as encryption. Okay, assume that I'll tell you an example. Encryption. When I encrypt some data, suppose my data is hi, how are you? So when I perform encryption over here, this will be in this format. Can anybody understand about this? Does this data have any sense here? So, and making the readable format or the understandable format to ununderstandable format, I can simply say it as encryption. And the vice versa of this is called as decryption. Like ununderstandable data is converted to the form of understandable data. Such thing is called as decryption. So, call the difference between encryption and decryption.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, understandable format to ununderstandable format is called as an encryption, and ununderstandable format to understandable format is called as decryption. So these people started using this encryption and decryption. Even your WhatsApp messages is called. You can see something called as end-to-end encrypted. So what do you mean by end-to-end encrypted? See, when you send a message to someone, okay, I send a message to my friend. Even WhatsApp, who people who are working in WhatsApp also cannot see what is your actual message. So once you send, once you type on a message and when you hit on send, the data is converted. The data is encrypted in this format. Okay, like something like this. So when the end receiver is receiving that message, so from this format, it is encrypted to this format. So basically, the cloud vendors also are doing the same thing. So when you are saving some data or when you are using some data on a cloud environment, they are following a practice called as encryption and decryption to gain the trust of the customers. But still, being a faculty itself, I still doesn't trust these people because today's digital life, I really feel that data is very precious, more precious than like diamond. Okay, so it is too much precious that I'm not sure that these people do follow encryption decryption mechanism. But still, I still have some sort of doubt, like these people are watching our data whenever we are chatting on WhatsApp or whenever we are using cloud services and all. I still have some sort of I feel that they are looking at our data, but no, there is no practical proof or there is no this is as an exemption. And even encryption and decryption, they're having a practical approach, but our exemption doesn't have any practical approach. But still, hence we call it as cloud computing environment as a secure environment. But as they have given encryption, as they are maintaining encryption and decryption from their end, so I still have some sort of trust issues. Being a faculty itself, I say that I still have some trust issues. But not even me. People like me still have some trust issues because I'll tell you instance why I feel this as because to be open, I'll tell you why I feel this I feel this is not yet implemented properly. See, when you look at something, so when you just enroll in something, I assume that I have enrolled in a stock market company. Okay, once I enroll at my stock market company, okay, you're from there you will start receiving calls from other stock market companies. How come this happen? Okay, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it happens.
Yes.
So when you're trying to buy, it's suppose you keep a request to buy some bike at online. Okay, so tomorrow this data is given to someone who is giving some service at a local dealer. How is it possible? So
So,
there are some issues like your data might get exploited when it is in the server, and also there's a chances for data to get exploited apart from this security measures they follow. But I still have doubt in that. Okay, but this is not our part, so just leave it aside. So we say that encryption decryption is implemented to maintain security by this data set. Okay, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is how they follow. They just give a website. So how about the website security, sir? Will this website be hacked by anyone, or will that have any sort of issues? No, they have strictly make this website very much secure. They have an expert team, and they'll make sure that the site. They have an expert team who will monitor this website, and they'll make sure that they won't get this website hacked up. Basically, they have a cyber security expert who makes sure that the site is secure 24/7. So they maintain that standard to maintain some sort of responsibility and accountability for the customers. So they have a secure team who is working to make sure the website we are using to connect is very much secure, and they have 24/7 tools which monitors in traffic, and if they find anyone suspicious, they're just going to suspend the account completely. So they have some sort of real-time surveillance on the account which you are using. So the site seems to look very much okay and good and secure. As per my experience, I say that it is very much secure and good. Okay, so these factors, what I have, I say that cloud. So the factor I told you that using a website I can access my server. So this basic thing has made people to love this technology a lot because you can be anywhere, you can use the services, or you can do whatever you want. So, and that is all that. And apart from that, it's a cost-effective solution. So, when you have some cost overall solution, nobody will like. But when you have some cost-effective solution, people try to take it. Example is Geo. So when people are charging 200 per month for 1 GB, it was like, wow, what is this? That when Geo is giving for free, everybody is there after Geo. And when Geo is giving it for 300 rupees, everybody is after Geo. When others are charging 600 like that, everybody is after Geo. So when you have a cost, see, doesn't mean that people are crazy to go about cost effective solution. Once your solution is cost effective, basing on some business principles. So as we are not here for business principles, but cost effectiveness will drive when you are a new product coming into the market, when you're the new person coming into the market, these cost effective solutions will give you more customers. So that is why they've designed this whole architecture in such a way that they are very much cost effective solutions. Okay. So this is a small thing why what is a cloud computing thing and on. So is anyone clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Fine. And let me go on to the next thing, that is components of cloud computing. So I think some of your friends have already done with this class thing, but I still find many of you have not joined at that time. So I'm just giving a deep introduction or deep things in that. I think I missed out since this encryption decryption. I didn't tell it to your friends. So I'm making it very much specific this time. So are the other guys okay with this, right?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So coming to components in cloud. So in cloud computing, I have four components. That is, so there are four components, important and primary components in cloud computing, which is very much useful in industry sort of purpose. They are for like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and storage as a service. So before I go ahead and tell you, all these four components will follow one major principle. So I don't want to mess up with all the stuff, but I'm going to make it one point clear. If you want any sort of so you don't have anything, so suppose you want something, come to us, we will give it to you. You just use it how much you want, you just pay us the demo. Okay, that is the basic funda I told you for your cloud computing mechanism. So here they have some structural components like this. So let's take example with infrastructure as a service. If you need any hardware type of components like servers, okay, or firewalls, gateways, any hardware sort of thing. If you, in case you don't, in case you, it is very much costly for a firewall or a server to buy. It would be that it costs you around 13 to 15 lakhs, which is very much precisely costly. So in that is the case, if you want to buy any hardware if you want any hardware component, you don't want to buy. Okay, here the cloud vendor will buy behalf of you. He'll buy the hardware, he will maintain the hardware, and you will just use it by logging into a website. For that type of service, it is called as infrastructure as a service. See, the basic thing is everything the hardware you want. If you want a hardware components, you will not buy. You'll just ask this cloud vendor. They will give you. They'll buy the hardware component behalf of you. I think this meeting may get disconnected. Please reconnect if this meeting gets disconnected. Okay. So coming to the infrastructure as a service. So if you have want any hardware component, okay, so you don't need to buy. So if you go for the cloud vendor, if you ask that I want so and so hardware, assume that I want a firewall. Basically, you can ask them. They will just buy a firewall behalf of you. They'll maintain the firewall behalf of you. By the end of the month, they will give you a bill. You need to just pay that bill. So for any hardware components, without you spending, or if you have much amount, if you just ask the cloud vendor, he will provide you the hardware. He will maintain the hardware. He will give up bill. Just pay for that. Such type of service is called as infrastructure service. So for hardware components, we say it as infrastructure service, where they offer everything. We just pay a bill for the end of the month. Such service is called